Everyone, and welcome to round 9 of the PAX Pokemon League Australian Draft Tournament. We are here once again. Oh, that is terrifying.
What have you done?
Just the usual, it's the pulling the faces when the camera comes up.
Really? You'd think we can go 1 week without that.
Nah. It's practically tradition.
That'll be the 1 week I don't make it on here.
So, going around to introduce everyone, I am once again Professor Fern. To my, whatever that way is, no, that way, there we go, is Uncle Kaka. I don't know,
Hello,
this camera's
everyone.
reversed, I'm
I've
thinking
made up
mirrors,
the
but
Uncle
no,
Kaka.
it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Well, I could mirror myself.
I could actually change it around to mirror everything, and then that would probably confuse things even more. And down below me, we have Nova Cascade.
Back again, here we go.
So, round 9, we've got 1 more week till the finals. The pressure
And
is
a
on.
lot to play for.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
We'll probably go into it a bit more after we see the matches, but there's a lot of ways things can go.
Yes, I have just been running all the permutations, all the possible outcomes, and there's after we get through the results of this week, we might run through that a bit just so everybody knows where we're up to.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now, before we get started, I wanted to throw a quick shout out. The closed beta field tests for Pokemon Go have actually been announced. The next round are happening in Australia and New Zealand for the April tests. So if you head on over to the official Pokemon Go website, which is, PokemonGo.Niantic, or was it the other way around? Or you go through Cerebi, and there's a link on that website. Go sign up. I'm probably actually speaking to the choir at this point, because I think everyone who's going to sign up already has. And have the moment it happened.
Pretty much. I put my name in the hat. I want to see how it goes, so we'll see.
I'm interested. I'm very interested.
I'm probably going to hold off until it gets released properly, because I'm very much the sort of person who, like, if the test doesn't go particularly well and I get a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, I'm not likely to go back.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to hold off, wait until they get it absolutely set. And because, I mean, I've never got into Ingress either, so I've got absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to be doing either. So I'm probably not the target for a beta test. So we'll let the pros figure it out.
I would play more Ingress if there's no one around here to play with.
I've actually tried Ingress with a bunch of people up in the UK and wasn't really keen on it. So I'm hoping it's going to be less like Ingress and more like the original touting, which was to go out and get to places and actually hit up and catch Pokemon. Because that would add some really cool things to occasionally when I do go wandering around and venturing in. Oh, there's some long alright, so I'll just wander around in that and there's a DS and I'll catch a Pokemon here. It seems good.
Yeah. Now, there's some interesting things. I think the evolution mechanic which they're throwing around at the moment seems a bit backwards, but whatever. Basically,
you mean devolution?
No. Evolution is done by you go out and you keep catching the same Pokemon over and over and over, and eventually one of them will want to evolve.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit.
So you keep catching them and you keep merging them together. Like, get in there, Charmander.
I think
get
you
in
just
there.
have enough of them or something. I don't know. So we'll see.
That doesn't sound too good.
It's a bit wonky.
I'd really love, like, you know how they did the Mewtwo battle in Times Square. I'd really love for something like that to happen, like, but with like really special locations, sort of thing. Like you've got to go to Pompeii to get a Groudon or something like that.
Hey, that's not a bad place actually for a Groudon. Old Mount Vesuvius.
Not
a bad place.
I like it if they would do things like that, but then obviously you have certain people who are by far in the advantage because they happen to live near that sort of place.
I could potentially go and drive over to Uluru for a Regirock if that happens.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would actually be
pretty
cool.
There's also the problem in this particular country of being such a low density population That I mean, you take the look at the number of street pass hits you get. You go to a con here and you got street pass hits like you would say in Japan, for example, from what Uncle Phil's told us, or the experience I had walking around New York and London. You get street pass hits all the time. I was constantly clearing my DS. Here, I'm lucky if I get 2 or 3 a day.
I get none ever.
Yeah, I usually get like two to 4 on the train each day. But yeah, if like a day at PAX is like a normal hour in Tokyo.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, for example, PAX this year, I'm planning to finish my puzzles.
I've got to start all that again.
I finished all my puzzles this year.
The problem for me was when I switched over to the new 3DS, and the instructions don't tell you it's a micro SD compared to the normal SD, and you think, oh, I'll just swap it over, and it wipes. And you have to start everything again.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, Nintendo.
Damn you, Nintendo!
I'm not looking forward to arguing with them once I replace my Wii U, because I'll tell you that. Well, it was painless swapping my 3DS over, so...
Yeah,
all right.
You've used up your good karma now.
I think I have used up my good karma. All right, who wants some battles?
Let's do it.
All right.
That's what we're here for, right?
Battle number 1.
Yep.
It is ominous. It is red and very bleak, and actually Nova's curtain blends perfectly into the background. It's kind of weird. So this is the battle. Beaver versus the undefeated Guffy. The Melbourne MissingNos versus the Perth Hills Houndooms.
Ooh.
So we'll have to see if it's 2 weeks before the finals, 1 week before the finals now, I suppose, and we shall see. Will Guffy's record remain completely unblemished? So what do we got?
It is a scary record.
So, for Mr. Shine, Beaver, as we all know him and love him, the Mega Beedrill, the Funfisk, the Chandelure, the Xatu, Poliwrath, and the Smeargle.
We haven't seen that
what the
Smeargle.
Smeargle's going to do this week, because
We've seen the
played some
Smeargle
tricks with
once.
it last time. Yeah.
I think we've seen it twice, but we haven't seen it for quite a while, that's for sure. And the Poliwrath's back again. That seems to be a fairly common one, but not always there. The rest of that team is fairly stable, though.
Yeah, the Mega Beedrill's always there. Sunfisk has become a reliable go-to Pokemon for him. And that Chandelure's never in a bad place.
And the Xatu being so defensive and quick, it's just absolutely solid and does a job very, very well.
On the other side of the fence... Oh, yes,
the
go ahead.
Poliwrath is just... Sorry, speaking of taking hits, the Poliwrath has really surprised me this season with how well it takes them.
It has. It really has.
I was a bit surprised when it got taken, like, because you never really hear of it being used at all, really. But yeah,
Well, that's its first gen.
Put in some work. Yeah.
And it's got enough bulk to even survive, good grass moves too. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen that thing take Cofagarius energy balls. So
We have, actually, yes.
Solar Beam from Ninetales. It's it stood up well.
Alright, so for the Houndooms, we have the Mega Lopunny, the Heliolisk, the... I forget what he called his Doug Trio, but anyway. He has his... That's the one. I was thinking San Andreas, but that's not. That's
mine.
That's yours. That's your...
Excadrill.
Excadrill. I am brain fighting all over the place. We have the Volcarona, the Big Blue Snorlax, and the Tentacruel.
I think that's the third time he's brought the Tentacruel out. I know he brought it out against me, and I think he brought it out early in the first couple of weeks there as well.
So the Volcarona we've seen a few times. There's multiple versions of that Snorlax kicking about, so I'm interested to see which one he's brought along. Haven't seen too much of the Heliolisk.
Yeah,
it's only come out a couple of times.
Everyone, so it's really interesting how everyone's starting to prep differently.
And we know the weak points, we know the pressure points, so we've got an idea of what's coming, what the leads likely are. So in terms of the Guthy match, I'm expecting that the Houndooms are probably going to do their usual lead with Leonard Lee, the low punny, using its usual fake out through the last resort set. In terms of Mr. Shine, well, he's got a couple of different options here. The Zatu is one possibility. He could also go with the Stunfisk as a Volt Switch lead. But I believe he has actually tried the Beedrill lead before, which is also a possibility. If he's got Protect on there, that thing could possibly outspeed the low punny.
Yep. All right. Well, let's push the button and play this fight and see what happens. So I think you might be right on those leads. The Mega Bunny low punny is a very good possibility. I would be surprised actually to see the MissingNo's lead off with the Chandelure myself, but we shall see.
There's a possibility.
So, oh no, we were all wrong. He got the Beedrill.
That was a good prediction there, the Beedrill. Ooh, this with the Tentacruel though, that is quite interesting. But we have got a poison match here. So that is probably very much in the favour of the Tentacruel, because that is a very bulky Tentacruel.
Absolutely.
Go for the Protect to get that speed boost, that all important first turn there.
Yep. So not enough, actually. Doesn't get the speed boost. So Beedrill takes an Ice Beam to the face.
Interesting. So that is possibly... I'm wondering if that's a Choice Scarfed Tentacruel. It has to be that sort of speed.
No way that's that fast.
There's got to be something there. So it's not sticking around for the Poliwrath.
Especially since... Because if he's locked into Ice Beam, that's not going to be good against the Water type there either.
Absolutely. So instead he swaps over the Healers, giving the Poliwrath a free Rain Dance.
Now, this is probably going to be a Dry Skin Heliolisk.
Ooh.
Missing the Focus Blast sucks though.
Yeah, the Focus Blast missed, but that Volt Switch certainly didn't.
And almost certainly that Poliwrath is going down now to a fake out from Leonard Lee.
Absolutely. Unless he... There you go, he switches it out.
Safe move there.
Yep. Comes out with a Funfisk.
Now, we've seen this happen before. That he is, and that Funfisk is really going to take nothing from that fake out. It's going to be quite solid there.
More importantly, I believe that Stunfisk is actually running static.
Absolutely.
No, it's got an eject button.
Bringing back that Beedrill with the extra speed there, obviously. And getting past the fake out that way.
That's an interesting little twist there.
Switch.
Beaver's used the eject button a few times, and he's used it pretty well too.
Yep. Oh, not quite. That Tentacle's still hanging in there.
But Beaver knows it's scarfed now, so he's just going to switch straight out.
Yep.
Let the Poliwrath take the hit, let it go down, and switch into something that's going to get the advantageous move. That is very, very clever switching.
All right, here we come. Here comes Funfisk.
Yeah. Knowing that he's locked into Sludge Bomb, and Stunfisk can just sit in there all day.
Oh, yes.
Poison, not a great situation, but it's better than other things. Getting the rocks up is quite useful with the amount of switching that's going on, so Stunfisk is definitely doing his job, though.
Oh, yes. Yeah, look at that. Stunfisk just does not care about those Sludge Bombs. Now that it's got its poison, it's not really doing a whole lot. Alright, and there goes the Tentacruel. What have we got coming up? So, Iceberg, Dugtrio.
Not going to be a great situation. That Stunfisk is probably going down to the Earthquake there.
Yep, I'd say he's out. And there he goes.
That poison really mattered in that case, because otherwise that extra damage, it probably would have lived the Earthquake. It's got so much bulk.
Yeah. It is, but it is going to be 4 times weak as electricity and the ground typing.
Yep.
It'll only be 2 times.
So,
sure.
Oh, there we go. So that, wow. Okay.
He's
that
not really sashing that. That is quite unusual.
Yes.
No, Stealth Rock.
He did take the Stealth Rock damage. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Stunfisk
true, yes.
is that Doug Trio is stupid quick, but it cannot take a hit.
Mm.
So we have the Megalopunny against the Xatu now. Bit of a fake out, and of course the flinch.
Mm-hmm.
Not sticking around. Obviously predicting a
Really
psychic
right on
move
the
or something.
cusp. Yeah. It's probably right on the cusp as to whether or not the return would take it out. So.
Well,
Yep.
actually, the air slash is just as good because that's
Yeah.
going to be super effective as well against it.
Indeed. Again, that Lopunny is also a very, very offensive powerhouse, but again, glass cannon.
It's more fragile than a Beedrill.
It really is.
Mm.
Yep, so there goes Xatu to being chomped on by a Snorlax. We got the Smeargle. Smeargle.
Ooh.
Cell Smash
Smash
Smeargle. Wow, okay.
I'm going to guess this thing's probably running a sash.
I
Or it's
assume
running
so.
or it's running a herb.
Yep,
we don't see a
we'll find
herb
out.
there, so
Sash.
So
That's gonna be a
it'll
sash.
sashed. There it
There
goes.
it is.
Storm Throw. Bop.
ooh,
Wow.
boom, Shanker.
Good night, Big Blue.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Guaranteed crits if it started stockpiling.
Absolutely, yes.
Hmm.
Very clever.
So I'm watching the fake out there. A pity that isn't running a protect and a priority or something like that. That would have been quite useful for it.
Hmm. So here comes the Beedrill. The punny not sticking
Now
around.
goes low punny. Hmm.
Come out with the Heliolisk. Alright, what's going to happen here? Bit of a poison jab and... Ooh, okay. Goodbye, Heliolisk.
The thing with the healers is they're very fast and they're very strong. They hit hard, but they don't really have a huge amount of defense either.
Yeah, Guthy really seems to have
Seems
bought
to
his
be a
glass
common
cannons
theme.
this week.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And in and out with the low punny. Wow, that was a bad call there.
Yes, it was. Volcarona. Wow, half health off the stones. That flying type. No, sorry, it's Bugfire, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right.
Just as
But the
bad,
fire's
though.
going to be weak as well. Hmm.
Mm.
Expecting probably a flash fire or something on the chandelier to give a boost with fire.
Yep, there we go. And it's
There
sitting
we
on a
go.
balloon, or rather it's being held up by a balloon, I should say. And...
Ooh, that's a
ooh,
nice hit.
So close. Nope, there it goes.
Pop goes the Volcarona.
Yeah. So, finally, the Megalopunny makes another appearance.
Now, we know this fake out normally shouldn't hit ghost types, but it will because that low punny does have Scrappy in the mega form, which does mean you can't use a ghost defense against it.
Yes, indeed.
Which is so broken.
So, there goes the Chandelier. Back comes the Beedrill.
So I think we're down to the last Pokemon each here, aren't we?
I believe so. And Poison Jab straight to the Lopunny's face. Down it goes. We have
All
seen
that
it happen.
stones damage.
Guthy has been defeated. It's finally happened.
Absolutely.
Hang
It
on.
has happened.
Absolutely brutal.
I have to just change
Congratulations
this.
to Beaver, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we can
Definitely well played.
we can stop this now. The background does not need to be red for Guthy matches anymore. There we go. Oh, so very well played, the Beaver. Just wow. It was
Truly
just-
an amazing match.
It was just absolutely on point that entire match.
He prepped that to perfection. Like that Smeargle for the Snorlax, it just, yeah. He did his homework, that's for sure.
He really did. Okay, so let's jump.
So-
Oh yes, if you have something to add.
Before we go into the next match, out of that last match, who would you guys say was MVP totally?
MVPs.
It'll be the Beedrill.
I'd say it'd be the Beedrill, yeah. It was in, out, did the damage it needed to, and got out before it took too much damage. And it took, well, it actually handed out most KOs, I believe, of anything else.
I'm actually going to give the MVP here to the Stunfisk again, because that Rocks actually did a lot more damage than you guys are giving it credit for, because it broke sashes, it did a lot of chip damage to things. So I think that Stunfisk was actually really, really valuable there.
It really was. It really, really was. All right, then.
Yeah, fair point.
So, next battle. This is actually my battle. The North Sydney Ninetales versus the North Queensland Noiverns. So, on my side of the field, we have the Magmortar, the Walrein, Mrs. Mustache, not Mr. Mustache now, the new Walrein. The Mega Aggron, the mascot Noivern, the Yellow Thunder Pikachu, and Lord Helix himself, the Omastar. So, I think we've seen all these guys pretty much consistently now. The Walrein, now that I've actually completely redesigned it, what I was doing with it, is getting a lot more field time. Definitely. Everyone else you're very familiar with, though, let's face it, again, the Omastar hasn't actually shown its stuff. It's always gone down pretty quick.
Hopefully this week you'll be able to rectify that.
I hope to. I very much hope to. On the other side of the field, we have the Altaria, the Fortress. I was about to call it Ferrothorn, so it's contagious. The Slowbro.
It's spreading.
It really is. The Ninetales, the Quillfish, and the Azumarill.
Yeah, that's the Mega Altaria, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
And this is like the second time we've seen that Quillfish, isn't it, from memory?
Yes, we saw it the first time last week.
Last week. Yep.
Just last week.
Been keeping it in his back pocket, waiting for the moment to strike.
So
Absolutely.
a heavy water theme running through the Ninetales team this week.
Which is
That'd be quite
strange
interesting to
considering
see.
he's got the Ninetales.
All right.
Well, not so much really, because if you go for the grass types to combat the water types, that Ninetales being a very hard-hitting fire type is quite solid. So it should be interesting to see what he actually brings through to it.
Yeah.
I suppose all of his water types have got a secondary stab that they can use if the sun's up. So.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Fern, what were you expecting to face as the lead for the Noivern, so the Ninetales, and what were you planning to lead with?
All right. So once I press the button, we'll start that in a moment. But honestly, I was expecting the Fortress to come out. It's always been a solid lead for the Ninetales. It comes out, it throws rocks all over the place, and it runs away and comes back later to haunt, well, everything. So my answer to that was to come out with the Magmortar and just knock it off the field straight away. That was how I predicted this time to go. So let's hit play and see how that actually panned out. So.
Well, it seems like it hasn't actually panned out too well there. But knowing your Magmortar and the array of moves you've got there, that's actually still a good call either way.
I did actually make a couple of little changes to the Magmortar. Nothing serious this week. So I come out. Here comes the Magmortar, the Ultra Duck, and on the other side, it's the Azumarill. So I got played, obviously. So it doesn't matter. I've got Thunderbolt on this thing. I'm going to give it a good whack anyway. Doesn't quite finish it off. That Aquatail, however, does.
Ouch.
So losing the Magmortar early on in the match does really hurt. So, okay, I've had enough of this Azumarill. I'm just going to get rid of it. Instead of going for a Volt Tackle, though, I kind of half predicted he'd go for a Switch Out. So, I go for a Knockoff.
Pretty good.
It's a good call.
Yep, so no more Berry for the Head Cannon. Take it with the Volt Switch and get the Pikachu out of there.
What does that Ockerberry do again? I'm just going to check that up.
I also forget. I think it does, yeah.
Reduces a super effective fire hit.
Yeah.
The first time.
So, yeah, switch out. Here comes the Pikachu. Switch the Pikachu out into the Aggron. The Fortress explodes in my face, and Aggron doesn't care.
That was an amazing turn for you.
That was that. I could not have planned that better on myself. So here comes Senior Dap, the Slowbro, not the Mega Slowbro. Time to go Mega. So this is what Dozer does, the Mega Aggron. He does Heavy Slam, and he does it very well. Not so much so against that Slowbro, because it is rather tanky.
Mm.
So he sets up some rain, and I'm honestly not going to stick around to see what he's got up his sleeve for that, so I'm going to switch out, come in with the wall rain.
Probably a good idea if that Aggron's not made out of stainless steel.
Yeah. Now, here's the first flub of the series of the match that Dezel's made, unfortunately. He ended up doing a double rain dance there before switching out. So I got a free switch onto the wall rain, which then lets me set up the hail. There we go. So a little bit of chip damage against the Altaria, which is now Megaing.
Unlike last week.
Yes. Yeah, he remembered his Megastone this time. So I'm going to scout it. I figured this Altaria, it could be running fire, it could be running steel, it could be running a lot of things. It didn't. It's actually running steel, so the scout and protect there worked out real. So I figure, okay, it's probably not going to do a whole lot with the steel wing, which it doesn't. Blizzard to the face. Now, don't forget that in hail, Blizzard is 100% accuracy.
That chip damage is going to probably finish that thing off too. And you get the heal from the ice body.
Absolutely. Now, alright, so I don't know what I was thinking here. So he comes in with a return. It does a fair whack of damage, but I use raw, and I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking when I did that.
Probably should have just protected and let the
I probably
hail
should have just
finish it
protected
off.
and just, let it run into the ground itself. Never mind, here comes Kiri. It negates the hail, though. So, Wall Rain is Store Rain, and Store Rain is going to protect and just rebuild a little bit of health. Which is just about because he can come in with a flamethrower. So there we go, bit of heal. Now, I've kind of expected this Wall Rain to be able to eat a flamethrower, even though it's in the sun. Which it does. Replaces its sun with the hail.
Nice. That is really bulky.
I built this thing. This Wall Rain is an absolute tank.
Which, considering it's not actually running thick fat now because of the ice body, surprising.
Yeah.
But it is also a water type, so that does have resistance too far as well.
Yeah, so you end up with
it is neutral
weakness.
A lot of damage under the sun.
So he's not sticking around with Kiri in the hail. He's going to switch to the Quillfish. I derped, and I used 2 protect in a row.
Well, that's
which didn't matter anyway because it was a free switch.
Still, the Quillfish isn't going to the Intimidate. The Quillfish is not going to do much to it either.
No, it's not. Poison Jab, however, is not going to do anything at all to it either. So nail it with a Blizzard. Yeah, not very effective, but it still does a good fair share of damage.
Pretty good.
Unfortunately, with the War Rain on the field, gameplay does kind of slow right down. It takes a little while to resolve everything. Alright. Figured I had recovered just enough health maybe to survive the poison jab. I was wrong. So, good night, Mrs. Mustache. You did your job admirably.
Unwell.
Here comes some fun. In comes the Mega Aggron again. Now, Mega Aggron is immune to poison, so this Quillfish is not sticking around. Alright, here comes the Altaria. It's going to get heavy slammed into the dirt. And out it goes.
Even if it isn't, the hail is still up, which is probably going to kill it anyway.
Yeah, it was doomed one way or another, that Altaria. So here comes Kiri, once again. Yeah, the hail. Just ran out of hail. Sets up the drought once again. Alright. So I made a mistake here. I figured the Aggron has survived a flamethrower in the sun before. This time it didn't. It ended up rolling the numbers different. Yeah, the Aggron didn't stay around. So, here comes the Omastar. Let's play with some Lord Helix. Praise the Helix. So, he switches out to the Slowbro, giving me a free Shell Smash. Now, this is beautiful. I love this.
Nice.
That is truly dangerous.
This is
we
wonderful.
did see some hideous shell smashing happening at PAX 15. So.
Oh, yes, we did. So, unfortunately, Dezel's actually switches directly back into the Quillfish from the Slowbro, giving me a second free Shell Smash.
That's it. Game over.
I think this is actually at a point where it really went bad for Dazzles. So now he's got this absolute monster of an Omastar. It's going to take an Aquajet to the face, even though it's severely degraded in terms of defense. It doesn't really take too much. Comes in with Earth Power and takes out that Quillfish. Now, this is a Omastar. It is +4. It is also fully speeds EV'd. It's just going to Scold Kiri right to the face. It's going to clearly outspeed it.
Even under the sun, that's amazing.
That is absolutely incredible. Here comes Raid, whatever, Rady. It's going to also Aquajet. Not enough. Earth Power. Buffer. And unfortunately, there goes the Azumarill. Here comes Senior Derp. Once again. Earth Power to the Slowbro. This Slowbro is actually rather tanky. It hangs in there with what's got to be maybe 1 or 2 hit points.
Oh.
It does get to reply with a Scold, and yeah, getting actually a decent hit against that Omastar is enough to take it out. Here comes the Pikachu. It goes Grass Knot, it goes Boof, and down goes the Slowbro. And that's the match. So, I'm not single victory, I got a second victory!
Well done.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you do not let Omastar Shell Smash.
Well, as I was saying before, we saw a lot of Shell Smash at PAX 15 with, Cloyster double Shell Smash sweeps, other Shell Smash sweeps across the board. It was definitely a brutal thing we saw last year, and that Omastar, amazing. Yeah,
that was... Oh, dear. I actually get kind of eager to see what Dazzle says on his stream about it, because... Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
I think at that second Shell Smash, he's probably just going to go, well, that's it.
Yep, mistake, unfortunately.
I am shocked, though, that like, as tanky as the Slowbro is, like, it's usually more physically defensive. Like, to take a +4 Earth Power...
And it only just amazing. Hangs on.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is absolutely incredible. But unfortunately, by that point, the game was lost really for the Ninetales, and that was all she wrote. That Omastar had done all its work and is by far my MVP.
Couldn't disagree with that.
So yeah, just remember, if you're fighting an Omastar, don't let it Shell Smash. Just don't, or a Cloyster for that matter.
Or if you do, you can pretty much expect that you need to be running some sort of priority that's going to hit it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we did see some priority here. That Sun really chipped off the ability of those Aquajets to do their job.
Yeah.
Like, had that Sun not been up there, that could have gone very much the other way.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side of the coin, I mean, a lot of the tail end of his team was also water-based as well. And you still had your Pikachu there. You still had your Noivern. He was definitely in bad shape either way.
Yep. So, yeah. All right. Next match. Let me bring it up. Here we go. The The Perth Cloysters Llama versus the Adelaide Crobats with Kaka. What do we got going on here?
So this is a rematch from back in round 2. That last time Llama and I faced, we ended up with a 6-0 Charizard sweep, so we didn't really get to see a whole lot of match last time. But as we've seen over the last several weeks, Llama has definitely got those Cloysters really moving, and they are now a formidable force. And I believe we were talking last week that they are potentially in with a chance at top 4ing into the final series.
They are,
so
yes.
This is a very much an important match for him. And for me, I'm trying to make sure I keep myself in the top 4 position there as well. So it's a solid grudge match we've got here as well.
Oh, yes.
Now I've brought in my Rotom again, which we've only seen a couple of times, haven't really seen it do much. we've got the Kecleon in again. We've got the Megazard Dragon thing, of course. We've got Pink Floyd, Michael Fable, good old Val Kilmer, and of course we've got the Danger Duck.
Yes.
So again, we've got the core of my team here. The Rotom being really the switcheroo position, which is a bit different to what we saw last time. Because last time I believe I had the Ditto potentially field, and I might have had the Bisharp. I'd have to double check that match. In terms of the Cloysters, we're seeing again the core of his team. So we've got the Nidoking, we've got the Mega Glade, we've got the Toxicroak, the Arcanine, the Furfro, and the Frostlass. So 5 of the same that he took against me last time. The Frostlass being different. We've seen that Frostlass doing some nasty tricks with Destiny Bond in the last few weeks. So definitely a dangerous team for me. We've got lots of fighting. We've got lots of poison moves. And plenty of agility and things to take out sweepers with that Frostlass.
All right. So this is going to be a very, very interesting match. Actually, looking at the timestamps, this is stuff behind the scenes. You guys can see it there, but the audience can't. But this is just telling me it's going to be an extremely interesting match.
Yeah.
So let's fire it up. What were you expecting for the openers here, Kaka?
We've seen him do a number of different things here. Llama Like Me is a tricky so-and-so. Main thing I needed to do here is I needed to break that Glade and that Toxicroak. If I could break them, that's good. So I was expecting, definitely not the Furfro. I was probably expecting the Glade. We've seen that before, or the Arcanine. But just in the off case he did leave with the Glade, I thought I'd bring out the Rotom, which is what I've done here.
Rotom against the Furfro is not a bad idea. The Toxic, yeah, that's got to be unexpected.
No problem.
But yeah, get a Will-o'-the-Wisp here, though, just a bit of chip damage. Did not pick his switch, though, which you guys are going to see in just a moment. I'm getting a little bit ahead of things.
Just a tad.
In actual fact, it's a minor thing, but if I had a Will-o'-the-Wisp here, I probably would have got a second bit of burn on his team. Would have been a nice little trick. It wouldn't have been a great situation for him, but obviously the Arcanine would have just absorbed that. So either way, it's a good call. Thunderbolt putting a big chunk out of that. And of course the Thunderbolt just sitting there and going, whatever.
Yeah.
80 flare bits, that's just going to kill the Rotom mostly. Yeah. I'm still there.
The poison's got to finish it off.
It probably will, but getting the Thunder Wave out on the Arcanine, that helps. Yeah, obviously he was expecting the Rotom, he was expecting my trickiness. That berry does get out of it, so...
there goes the Rotom.
I think he's definitely expecting things.
Yeah, he was one step ahead of you there.
He was
definitely a bit of a theme this week.
So in comes my Kecleon, and Fisty knows his tricks. Nice little cheap fake out damage there.
Yep.
Gives me a free shot, and of course the double priority move that's going to finish that Arcanine off there as well. As we can see, that thing's running a life orb, so it's going to hit like a machine. Hence my little Fisty McFist, named after the British Boaty McBoatface.
Oh, the internet.
Oh, yes, indeed. I forgot that was a thing for a bit, actually. I'm glad.
It is.
Did that...
And of course, Trainy McTrainface.
Yes. I have to actually ask you, have to look up and see if Boaty McBoatface actually stayed on the pole.
I'm not sure, but obviously he protects, eats a Shadow Sneak and skips out. And that's a really good call because the Shadow Sneak's going to do nothing to that normal type in the Sergeant Fluffy there. This thing is faster than me. Probably not going to do much to me, but we'll see what happens here. He gets the Thunder Wave off. That's pretty nice.
Considering all your priority, though, it's not.
Not as great as you might think. I was trying to be a little tricky with this. Didn't do as much as I was hoping. Probably should have gone for maybe the Drain Punch might have been a better idea. Oh well. Anyway, Burns chipping that thing down, so we're pretty happy with where we are. Fluffy goes out again. In comes the Nidoking, and hoping for a free switch, and he does not get it. the fighting type into the poison ground type, that is going to hurt, but not as much as I was hoping. So again, I'm a little bit behind the moves here. He's switching well, but it is really hard to predict what a Kecleon is and can do. Yeah, I survive. He gets a fresh shot. It does. They're surprisingly bulky. So I'm down low enough that I need to hit some priority moves. So we go for a good shot there. Life Orb is just chipping my life away, which is not helpful. Now, I'm wondering, because I'm just watching this match again, whether that Nidoking is potentially spec'd, because we've seen 2 rounds of Sludge Wave there.
Could also be the Life Orb Sheer Force combo as well.
This is also a possibility. There we go. That's right. It's not obviously spec'd because of that, but doesn't kill Valkilmer. He's a tough sausage. And that Hidden Power Psychic does put a big hole in the Nidoking.
I was wondering if that's what it was, particularly with that Toxicroak hanging around.
Yeah, I am not above definitely being sneaky with my hidden powers. Was hoping to get a Hidden Power Psychic on the Toxicroak, but Glaceon's a great revenge killer, but it's better what it does. So in comes Dragon Thing, and out goes the Toxicroak, of course. That's not going to be sitting around. Yeah, obviously I'm wary of this Frostlass being scarfed and, well, sorry, not scarfed, I mean sashed and Destiny Bonded. But, had to take a shot at it. Hopefully it wasn't going to be sashed. And turns out it is. So odds are he's going to be Destiny Bonded next turn. And so I'm going to pull out while he tries to bond and doesn't actually get the shot there.
Ooh, new Danger Duck.
So in comes the Danger Duck.
And there's the debond.
Yep.
Good prediction for me. That was quite a safe move. He's gone for the Thunder Wave. Now, I probably should have gone for something here. I think I get paralyzed. Yeah, I did. So that was a free move from there.
Do you remember if you did attack or not?
I think I went for actually a Thunder Wave myself. So it was going to be neutral. That was a bit of a mistake, but it didn't matter there. Again, I probably should have gone for attack there, which I did, but didn't get it off. It is what it is.
Power Fusion is so annoying.
Yeah, got the confusion, but I managed to hit through, and we've got a Psychic Danger Duck this week. It's a new one. And there goes Toxicroak. It was a good call. It was going to kill the Frostlass if it hit, and if he switched, he's going to kill probably most of his team anyway. So it was pretty happy with that. Should have known the Destiny Bomb was going to go there, but it is what it is. I went for the shot and just had to get out of the way. So Danger Duck was a sacrifice to get rid of a pesky little Frostlass.
Yeah,
Lost the Danger Duck in the process,
it was eventually going to get something.
Is what it is. In comes, of course, the Gallade and the Megazard. Now, we've seen this Megazard outspeed the Gallade before. And this is one of the things I know that the Cloysters have learnt. They've learnt to run the protecting Mega Gallade to get it to speed, because the Mega Gallade is faster than Charizard, but the Gallade is not. So because he'd Mega the Gallade earlier and swapped it in and out, that's where he's got that real advantage there, because he's now faster. So the Zard's going down. Now, if I remember rightly, I think I am down to my last Pokemon here.
Still, it's a pretty good one to be your last one.
Oh, yes.
It is. And we don't really have to worry about any toxic, because obviously things are down. That Moonblast hits like a tank. If that Gallade takes another Moonblast, he is dead. So free switch, get me healed. So I'm okay there. I'm pretty happy with how that's gone there. He could have possibly pressed with the rocks and just hoped to get flinch hacks on the way through to kill the Clefable, but it's a matter of 30% versus certain death.
Yeah, eventually your luck's gonna turn.
So he's decided to go for the Thunderwave. He's trying to actually just stack up the odds there, get that 50%, get that 30%. If he can shut me down, he can probably get enough chip damage on there to kill that Clefable. That thing is hideously bulky, but I've just got to live through it.
All right.
But problem is, I'm at full health, and that Fluffy has basically nothing left, and it's down to death by burn range now.
Ooh, that did nothing. At all. It made me, what, 3 hit points?
Nothing. About that, but remember, it is burned, so it is facing something that is very bulky as well. So of course in comes the Adelaide. I actually should have just gone straight for the Moonblast here, but I wanted to go for the Carmine, just rub it in a little bit. So we take it up, and we just leftovers back to full again, so we're all good.
All 3 hit points.
Yep. Lose about 45, 50 there. But again, Drain Punch is going to do not much to us. It's not going to heal enough, and that Moonblast is now essentially full shot lethal.
Oh yes. So just the usual post end of term faffery. There it goes.
Absolutely.
Here comes Sergeant Fluffy.
Unfortunately, Fluffy, that burn right from turn 1 is now what does him in.
Yeah.
And goes for the sunny day just to show it off, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Sunshine.
Well, it also lessens some of my moon healing, so there is a valid reason for it. If I go for the heal, I'm not going to heal as much, but I know he's dead anyway, so...
Yep. So there we go. Very, very well fought match from the Cloysters.
Absolutely. That was right down to the wire for me. If things had been played a slightly different way, that could have gone another way. But unfortunately, as Lana said to me at the end of that, he forgot to put the poison jab on the Mega Glade, thinking he had enough coverage for the Clefable, and that really is... obviously, I made a few mistakes in there as well. That poison jab, if I had those same mistakes, would have gone his way. But those other mistakes, if I hadn't made them, well, that could have been different as well. So mistakes on both sides, I was able to capitalise on a better position.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely well done to the Cloysters not to. Yeah, because that was an incredible battle.
It was, definitely.
All
In
right.
terms of MVP there, I'd actually have to give that to probably the Furfro for just getting the right things into the right time.
Yes, yeah.
It was definitely a solid play for it.
Absolutely. All right. Battle number 4. It is the final battle of the night. It is the Blue Mountains Milotics, which is Nova here, versus the Brunswick Bidoofs for Duke. So, what have we here? Talk us through your team, Nova.
Running through the team. I actually had I really didn't get a lot of time to prep this week. I was very busy, work, life, things happen. And considering Duke knocked me off on the first time through, I was really hoping to get a better prep time so I could actually, hopefully figure out a way of getting past him. What little prep I did was mostly focused around getting around his Mega Sableye. And my plan was to have my Mega Medicham running Foresight so that I could hit it super effectively with fighting type moves. And then 10 minutes before the battle start, I have a brainwave and realize that Magic Bounce is a thing and will completely negate Foresight from ever actually working. So last minute panic trying to figure out, oh my god, that's not going to work. What am I going to do? And to get around this Sableye that's set up in my face last time, and what I'm going to run instead. So ended up settling on a fairly similar team to what I brought last time. Obviously things happened last time that really turned the battle, but hopefully I was going to be able to play it a bit better this time. So ended up bringing Hollow the Trevenant, Storm the Jolteon, Kaiser Granbull, Boneyard Mandibuzz, Cuddles the Scolipede, and San Andreas the Excadrill. Scolipede being the addition to what I brought last time, as opposed to, I think it was the Mega Medicham I brought last time that didn't pan out. No, it was the Gastrodon. The Gastrodon I brought last time. Duke has brought along the quite a similar team to what he brought last time. Dragonite, Rotom Card, Ambipom, Horluchat, Mega Sableye, and Vice President Bob. I believe the only change was the Rotom for the Deblade. Which, considering the Deblade was what ended up screwing me over last time, I was a little surprised he didn't bring it, but I was quite scared of the... Well, actually, considering I didn't bring the Gastrodon this time, the Rotom wasn't as big a deal. But obviously, Dragonite is terrifying, Horlucha is insane. Bob can set up and destroy faces, as can the Sableye. So, Duke's got a pretty scary team, and it matches up quite well against mine. So it was going to be interesting.
All right.
So in terms of leads, what were you thinking was going to happen there?
I was expecting probably... there was one of two options. Either he was probably going to lead with something like the Rotom to go Volt Switching, the Ambipom to Fake Out, or he could try and counter lead me as well. Obviously, I've got a bit of a history of leading Jolteon to just sort of scout and Volt Switch out. So there was the potential of him running the Quagsire lead instead. In all of those cases, the Quagsire, the Ambipom, and the Rotom, to lead with Trevenant was basically going to set me in pretty good stead. So that's what I opted to do. We'll hit play and see how we go.
All right, well, let's do that. See what happens.
Once we get past the lead-in. And once again, we've got a very long timestamp on this battle.
This is the longest battle of the night, actually. By about a minute.
Yeah. I've done a few of those, haven't I?
You have. Your battles do tend to run out. So, we come out with the Trevenant to start with.
It was the Trevenant, and Bob was called as the lead. So, immediately gets me on the front foot, which was fantastic. And it lets me go and set up a substitute with Trevenant to basically block... I'm kind of expecting the Sableye to come in and try and start Will-O-Wisping and setting up again. So getting a sub to block that was going to be really nice. He Volt Switches out with the Rotom, doesn't break the substitute, which is fantastic. Goes into the Dragonite. This was a really back and forward match. Like, nobody really held much momentum right the way through. I'm sort of sitting in here with a substitute, and because I've got the substitute, I'm a bit hesitant to switch out. Which allows the Dragonite to start setting up Dragon Dances, which was, it can be quite a problem. I've had Duke set up on me before. So I ended up, look, this isn't working. He can't keep setting up on me. I need to switch out. And I go into the Gramble, which was a really good switch because he does go for the Outrage, which was obviously blocked entirely. Now, I actually thought that even though it was blocked by my typing, he was actually still locked into it for a couple of turns. So I was quite surprised when he got the Earthquake off. But obviously that's not how it works, and I'm just mistaken.
It's a mistake a lot of people make.
Yeah.
The other advantage for you is that the Intimidate just neutralises half the Dragon Dance as well, which is nice.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah. Gets a good flinch on the Waterfall, but because he's intimidated back to neutral and I'm running as defensive a Gramble as you could possibly can, it's max defense, max HP, impish, so it's not taking much in the way of damage, which is fantastic. Should have gone for the play rough there again, end up trying to T-Wave the Dragonite, and once again, we have a Lumberry this week. There's been quite a few around, so... He goes, actually switch out here, rather than taking extra damage with my Gramble, because it is, again, with the glue sort of holding my team together. Switch into Boneyard, and I'm running the Rocky Helmet this week. So again, really defensive, tanky Mandabuzzers all hell, and the Rocky Helmet takes out the Dragonite. So nice safe switch.
Played.
And
very nicely played.
Yeah, managed to get rid of the Dragonite, which is nice. Sableye comes in, so I don't want to take a Will-O-Wisp, but I'm going to activate Plan B for Sableye, which is to Mold Breaker Toxic the hell out of it. If it Mega'd, I can still get the Toxic off because Mold Breaker will nullify Magic Bounce. If I happen to take a Will-O-Wisp in the process, I've got my own Lumberry this week. He didn't Mega, so the Toxic goes off without any issues. I do end up taking a second Will-O-Wisp, but again, I am running Heal Bell on my Gramble, so it's not as big a deal as long as I can keep my Gramble alive. So I'm basically now looking for an opportunity to get my Gramble in to try and Heal Bell that off. The Sableye a pretty safe setup because obviously I'm probably going to threaten it out and get the free turn, but he does actually make a very good double switch into the Rotom. So I don't want to stay in here. Like, even though it didn't break the sub on my Trevenant, I've just got a feeling that he's running this one Spexed. So I don't want to stay in and take any damage because Gramble not the greatest in terms of special defense. So back into Trevenant and take the Thunderbolt like a champ. This pretty much confirmed that the Rotom was definitely choiced in some manner, whether it was Scarf or Spexed, by switching out Protect on the switch, which fails, but end up going into the Mandibuzz to go against the Hawlucha. Once again, we see him running the Power Herb Sky Attack, which is going to trigger Unburden and make him stupidly quick. The problem is that the Sky Attack doesn't actually trigger the Rocky Helmet. So, but once again, Mandibuzz taking all the hits, manages to live the neutral high jump kick, and I'm quite glad that Unburden actually triggered because I'm now slower. I can roost without risking taking a super effective high jump kick by losing my flying type. So, playing my Mandibuzz a lot better than I did last time against Duke. I'm just going to keep roosting up, get myself back to full as Bob comes back in. I'm going to switch back into Trevenant here again. Quagsire is going to start stockpiling, which is a bit of a problem, but Hornleech is still going to do decent damage even at +1, but he is sort of in the position where Duke was he was going to get ahead. Like, once the stockpile starts setting up, it's it's to his advantage because I'm not able to break it through. I'm doing less damage than he can recover, which he's going to show off in a couple of turns. So we're both sort of sitting in here. He's waiting for me to switch out. I'm waiting for a crit, really. This was very much... this was probably the part of the battle that decided who was going to gain the ascendancy. Like, eventually someone had to switch. He's obviously shown off stockpile and recovery. Eventually he starts going for waterfalls as an attack, so I'm presuming his fourth move was power up punch, maybe, which is obviously no good against Trevenant. So we're both sort of sitting in here, but neither of us are really getting ahead. Obviously waterfall doesn't do much damage to me, but my Hornleech isn't doing that much to him now, so it's kind of a bit of a stall, but neither of us are really getting ahead. My problem is that Hornleech only has 10 PP. I didn't end up putting any PP ups on it, so I'm probably on more of a timer. But I also thought that potentially I could stall it out if it really came to it, because between Substitute, Protect, I've still got a few Hornleeches left, and Shadow Claw's got a decent amount of PP. But because I'm also Citrus Berry and Harvest, I can probably stall him out of waterfalls, and then he'll have to switch, unless he's just going to sit in there and PP stall me with by running through all these power up punches. So eventually, as I put on my wrap up of the video, it was a high stakes game of chicken, and Duke blinked first. So I ended up switching the Quagsire out, and that was probably what gave me the momentum, because I'm now in there with a substitute. I can protect to scout what the Rotom's going to lock himself into, and it does end up being the Volt Switch. which this time does break the substitute because I had taken a couple of waterfalls as well. So but now because I don't have a sub, I don't mind switching my Trevenant out. Obviously, I've got the Shadow Claw to do a bit of extra damage to that Horlucha, and once again, I'm going to go back into Mandibuzz. It's proven that it can take some hits, and the Acrobatics is going to be, while certainly more powerful than his other moves now, it is going to go right up against my Rocky Helmet and do more damage as well. So he takes the Rocky Helmet. I'm just going to roost up, unless he's running somehow managed to find a flinch move in there. I should be fine. And he's eventually just going to knock himself out. So Mandibuzz has now got 2 kills by doing nothing but roosting. That was the only move I used on it the whole game, was just roost and just let Rocky Helmet do its work. So this was definitely my MVP for this match. Like, to get 2 kills without attacking was pretty awesome.
Don't underestimate Rocky Helmet.
Oh yeah, definitely worked out this week. So end up going into Jolteon. Figured a Will-O-Wisp was coming, so I didn't want to go into Gramble. He is now going to decide to Mega, I believe, and get the Calm Mind off as he does so that my Volt Switch is going to do a little bit less, but it's still going to do a decent amount, and I think I do actually end up going into Gramble once we get past the Calm Mind. Oh no, a Shadow Ball first. That's right. Wasn't sure whether or not, without it, if he wasn't going to Mega, the Shadow Ball was probably going to do a bit more. And I didn't know if I wanted to switch out, but I'm actually running a Life Orb Jolteon this week, so I can switch up my moves. And now I Volt Switch out to the Gramble. And so worn it down where the Toxic's going to start racking up. I think he does go for a recover this turn, maybe.
He kind of has to go for a cover logically.
Yeah, well, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he does go for the Dark Pulse, so that definitely sealed it. Mega Sableye is as slow as all hell, even slower than a Gramble. So I can clean it up now with a Play Rough. Even anything else was, I could have tried Heal Belling there, but the Toxic was going to take him out, but I just didn't need to at this point, I don't think.
Well, it'd be foolish to give him another shot, really, to be honest.
Yeah, because if I go for the Heal Bell, he's going to recover up and then risk the Will-O-Wisp and all sorts of other shenanigans. So just get it out of there, get it out of the way. The Ambipom comes in now to start its fake out last resort business, but because Trevenant is still around, that is not going to work, and Duke decides to throw in the towel there.
Yeah. Well, given that both its moves are a normal type, they're just going to do nothing to your hollow. You can just sit back and do what you like to it.
Exactly. So in the end, I was up 6-3 when Duke threw in the tower, so it does count as a 6-0 win, which does by no means show how close and tense that battle was, because even though I think it works out to be about 10, 11 minutes when we play it back, that match went for over half an hour. While we were all plotting out our moves, so it was a long match. It was very tense. Neither of us really had much in the way of momentum for any sort of length of time.
Yeah,
it was just sort of slowly whittling things down to the point that we could start breaking the team apart.
Just watching that in the replay, I think you're right. It really came down to that standoff between the Trevenant and the Quagsire. Who was going to blink first? Yeah. Had you flinched on it and switched out first, that battle could have gone entirely differently.
Exactly, yeah. And particularly because, I had other options, but not really. I didn't have Whirlwind on my Mandibuzz this week. Excadrill was burned, so I needed to get Gramble in first to Heal Bell. Obviously can't T-Wave at Quagsire, so even Scolipede, setting up speed isn't going to help a great deal. So it probably would have had to come down. I would have had to get Excadrillion, hope I could take a waterfall while I toxiced it, then go back to Trevenant to try and stall out the toxic. But so eventually I would have probably got there, maybe, but it certainly would have been a long haul. That probably could have been a 50-55 minute battle at that point.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, the Excadrill being steel type, it's not going 4x weakness against water. It probably would have survived the waterfall from a Quagsire, because the Quagsire doesn't really hit too hard until you really get its power up. So it would have been most likely that if you had done that switch, the power up punch, if it was on there shooming, it was the Vice President Bob build would have actually gone off, which would have hurt, but power up punch is a very weak move as well. It doesn't do much until it starts stacking up, in which case then you would get the toxic on and you would have been pretty okay.
So that was probably my only other way out of it. So it probably would have worked, but having the Quagsire switch out was definitely it definitely helped and shortened the match.
Yep.
So if you can call a 35-minute battle short, it was...
absolutely.
Okay. Now, going into next week, and I hope I'm reading this correctly, because... Yep, there we go. We have the Adelaide Crobats versus the Blue Mountains Milotics. So, you guys.
You and me, buddy. You and me.
Too.
Ought to be interesting,
this time,
one.
I'm taking you down.
We'll see.
We have the...
Well, it is positions 2 and 3, so...
It's going to be a good one. And a lot to play for both of us. So
yeah.
For everybody, really.
So that's spots 2 and 3 on the leaderboards, by the way, versing each other. But we'll come back to that in a moment. Brunswick Bidoofs versus the Perth Cloysters, Duke versus Llama. Ought to be good. That one. From memory, I believe Duke took it out the first time on the rematch, on the first time around. This time, I'm kind of backing Llama. I think he'll pinch it.
Well, as you said, he's come a very long way. He's got a lot of tricky stuff happening.
He does play dirty.
He does have a couple of big hurdles to get around, and he doesn't have a lot of grass moves on his side. So getting around Vice President Bob is going to be difficult, and dealing with the Mega Sableye can be difficult for him as well. If he can get past those 2 hurdles, then he can probably do it.
Absolutely.
I think the Sableye is more of a sticking point because he does have the Ludicolo and he does have Vileplume as well. So I don't see Bob being a great issue for Llama, but I think the Sableye but it's also the Hawlucha. Like, if he can't handle the Hawlucha because Acrobatics is going to go against his Gallade, his Toxicroak, Ludicolo, Vileplume, that's a lot of his team to get around. Having said that, given all the priority that he brought against me to get around my Scolipede, he can do exactly the same for the Hawlucha as well. So
absolutely.
He's got tricks.
Hawluchas are rather fragile too. So
it's not just the fact that he's more familiar with his team. The Llama, as a Cloysters coach, has also been doing a lot of study of the mechanics of the game, which is what he brought against me this week and what he's brought against the last couple of weeks. So that's part of why he's gone so well, because he does run those numbers. He makes those percentage plays now. So, you're right. He's got a very, very good chance. It's just he's got to solve those 3 sticking points. If he can do that, he's got the game.
He's going to absolutely ace it. All right. The North Sydney Ninetales versus the Perth Hills Houndooms. Dezzles versus Guthie. Last time this went to Guthie.
Most games went to Guthie.
Yeah, everything went to Guthie last time. What are the predictions for this one? I think...
Honest, I've got to go with Guthie on this one again.
I think so. No slight to Dezzles, but... although, on the other hand, we now have seen that that Guthie can be beat, so...
It's true.
We never know.
And Dezzles did have some plans last time, which just didn't pan out. So this one, probably going to be Guthie, but I reckon there's about a 30% chance we could see a Dezzles upset here.
I actually really like to see that.
Time, I think.
Yes, it did.
I think it was, a 4-0 last time? Let me have a look. Where are my standings? Week 3... No, I take it back. Guthie only won 1-0 last time. So it was pretty close.
All right. And
Actually, having looked at all the numbers, this is actually the replay of the closest collective week.
Yes. We also have the Melbourne MissingNos versus the the North Queensland Noiverns. So I can't even pronounce my own team name. Myself versus Vivre. So I got to win this one. I got a good feeling about it, and then I can claim that I beat Guthrie by proxy. So.
Oh, I'd definitely like to see that. Definitely would like to see that.
We've got a lot to play for. Like pretty much every team, every team can still move in position on the ladder.
Oh yes.
So I was actually as the draft tournament stats master, I've been running through all the permutations.
Yes.
Statistician, yes.
Statistician. You get to be posh about it.
All the permutations for next week. So at the moment, at the end of week 9, leading the charge is Guthrie and the Houndooms with 8 wins, 1 loss, and a plus 25 differential. Second place is myself, 7 wins, 2 losses, plus 24. Kaka and the Crobats sitting on third, a game behind, 6 wins, 3 losses, and plus 18. At the moment, Beaver is sitting in 4th place and currently holding on to the last finals berth with 4 wins, 5 losses, minus 9. Then we have Llama and the Cloysters, Dezzles and the Ninetales, Duke and the Bidoofs, all sitting 3 wins, 6 losses. Llama holds 5th place with a minus 7 differential, then Dezzles minus 10 and Duke on minus 21. Followed by Fern in last place, 2 wins, 7 losses, minus 20.
I'm terrible!
Well, not necessarily, because there are, as I said, everybody can still move, so you can escape the wooden spoon.
I can. I can indeed.
Basically, there's a lot to play for. If Beaver beats Fern, he's got 4th spot sewn up. Finals are him. Finals are in, and he's made it. Guthrie, myself, and Kaka are all set for finals as well. So we've made the finals. We can. It would be nice to be able to say we can just sort of rest on our laurels this week, but there's still too much to play for.
Don't relax just yet.
Yeah, exactly. If Beaver loses to Fern, so if Fern wins, Llama and Dezzles can both take 4th spot with a win. Dezzles, however, needs to win by at least 4 more than Llama. So if Llama wins 1-0, Dezzles has got to win 5-0 against Guthrie. So pressure's on.
That is a tall ask.
That is a very big ask.
It is a tall ask. A very big ask. Basically, if Llama wins by 3-0 or better and Beaver loses, 4th place is his.
Yep.
Yeah, if Beaver wins, he's got the spot. That's fine. At the top end of the list, if I win and Guthrie wins, the top 3 stays as it is. If I win and Guthrie loses, I will take top spot and Guthrie falls to 2nd. If Kaka wins and Guthrie wins, Kaka will take 2nd spot if he wins 4-0 or better. I will win if I lose 1-0 or 2-0, I will keep 2nd spot. If actually it works out that Kaka wins 3-0, we will finish on the same number of wins, the same differential, and we have beaten each other 3-0 once each. So then we're going to have to figure out some other way of determining who gets 2nd and who gets 3rd.
Grudge match!
That's going to be...
Match.
That's going to be... Yeah, I was going to say, we might have to have another tiebreaker just to see what happens. So, if I lose and Guthrie loses, he still keeps top spot, and then we've still got to figure out if I get 2nd or if Kaka gets 2nd. So, at the other end of the table, if Fern loses to Beaver, wooden spoon. Sorry, mate. If you defeat Beaver and Duke loses to Llama, Duke gets the wooden spoon. So if you want to avoid the wooden spoon, you've got to win.
And then I've got to root for Duke.
No. And then you've got to root for Duke. No, you got to
No,
root
we've got to root for Llama.
yeah.
Got to root for Llama.
You got to
yeah.
root for Llama. Yeah, got to root for Llama. And then there is the very unlikely but still mathematically possible situation where Fern wins 6-0 and Duke wins 6-0 and Guthie defeats Dezzles. Then Duke and Beaver will tie for 4th place with an equal differential, but as they've only had one match between them, which Beaver won, he would retain 4th spot. And I think that is all possibilities accounted for.
So to make things interesting, I really need to not only beat Beaver next week, but absolutely cheese him.
Yes.
Bring it.
Which I think is going to be another tall ask, but...
Yeah, seeing a 6-0 in either my match against Beaver or Llama versus Duke, I don't think it's going to happen. It's possible. It could very well happen. But I don't see
I had to include it on the possibilities, but yeah, as I said, very unlikely, but mathematically possible.
Yes.
We have, however, seen 6-0 sweeps, though.
We have.
We have.
Yes.
I don't think Beaver's going to let me get away with a double shell smash on turn 1, though. So. If he does, then...
I was going to say, if anything is going to pull off a 6-0 sweep in the last week, a Shell Smash Lord Helix is probably going to be the thing.
Oh, yes. Praise the Helix.
So, you never know.
So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens this next week. It's all on the line.
Yes. A lot to play for. Nobody is taking it easy. So...
I want to avoid the wooden spoon.
Yes. And just to touch on finals as well, I believe we have settled on having a 2-week final series where we have first versus third and second versus fourth play one match. Winners go to the final, and the 2 winners will face off in a best of 3.
Sounds a good idea there.
I think that's how it got settled anyway.
We'll update on that next week, just in case it was wrong. All right.
So I need to go and get some trophies organised then.
We need to place your bets and see who we think is going to go. Take the inaugural cup.
Absolutely. All right. So then, that's another week in the bag. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and putting up with our silly shenanigans. Don't forget...
Wasn't too many shenanigans tonight.
No, we kept the shenanigans to a minimum.
It's because Dezzles wasn't here.
When Dezzles is here, the shenanigans kind of go out the window, yes. We have a shenanigan of shenanigans. That isn't our thing, by the way.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure, though. So we will see you kids next week, and do keep tuning in. Do pump our videos out there, and just check out the PAX Pokemon League forums and webpage. So yeah, be good fun.
Don't forget, check out the front page actually, because there's still a few to announce, but
East leaders are being revealed.
They're actually some of them are really creative this year. Gotta love it.
It's been really nice looking through them, yeah.
And someone or several someones on East this year have a very, very great fondness for bad puns.
Which is always a good thing.
Love it.
Oh God! Don't tell me I have to change my idea for a leader this year again to the Punisher.
It's a pun, and it's just so bad on so many levels.
That was trubbish.
The puns.
Sorry, I had to.
Wow. Okay, so let's get out of here then. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. And now we've got bad puns to add to the list of things we've done. We shall see you next week.